think that it's a life-saving medication. It's just as life-saving as what they would give, the EpiPen for a person having an allergic reaction.
She's talking about Narcan. The drug revives Sarah Koop's son, Alex. It's controversial because it can reverse an opioid overdose, but does a fallback encourage people to continue using? Alex tells WMTW News 8's Christina Frank how Narcan changed his life.
Never thought it could happen to me.
27-year-old Alex Koop from Portland has battled an opioid addiction for the past 7 years. It started with prescription painkillers that led to heroin.
One day I thought I was purchasing heroin on the streets, and it was in fact probably mostly fentanyl.
That night last July in Biddeford with a friend, he says after snorting the drug, he passed out. His friend called 911.
Next thing I know, I'm being woken up by paramedics, scared the crap out of me. Never expected myself to be in that situation.
It took 3 doses of Narcan to revive him. Alex is one of the more than 1,300 people paramedics revived last year.
Then press firmly and hold in place for 5 seconds. 5.
The opioid antagonist naloxone can be given as a nasal spray or injection.
Injection complete.
And do those contain the same amount of naloxone as the 2 nasal?
Actually, this dosage strength is slightly less than this because it's injected right into the bloodstream, where these are absorbed into the nose.
But making it available has been a political battle. At the end of April, the legislature overwhelmingly overturned Governor LePage's veto to purchase Narcan without a prescription. Governor LePage says that will not solve the state's heroin epidemic.
A shot of Narcan is $70, and the person who gets it doesn't have to pay it back. I think the first time, second time, third time even, I don't mind not paying back, because it's very difficult to get off addiction. But after a dozen times, I think it's time that we make a new arrangement.
LePage says access to Narcan will not break the cycle of addiction.
People think that it's going to enable use or encourage it, and there really isn't any evidence to back that up.
In about 6 months, people will be able to go to a pharmacy, get training, and walk out with naloxone. Alex says that night was the turning point in his recovery.
Alex, July 2015, miserable, dishonest, manipulative, selfish.
Now he's looking ahead to law school.
Alex today, very happy, try and be other-centered, high energy, and optimistic about the future.
A future that maybe would not have existed without a life-saving dose.
No, I wouldn't be able to imagine. I'd probably be dead. Thank you.
Christina Frank reporting tonight. Sergeant Baker back with us. Also, Dr. Ron Springle, a recovery advocate who you saw in that story, and Kennebunk Police Chief Bob McKenzie. I do want to start with Sergeant Baker because you had mentioned in our interview that if you had had the Narcan with you, Ronnie might still be here.
Right. I don't know if it would have helped or not, but it certainly would have been nice to have been able to have that right when I discovered her.
And you have it now?
I don't have it now. I have been trained in it.
Okay.
And we are obtaining it for our cruisers.
So does anyone in the Oxford County Sheriff's Department carry it now?
Not yet.
Okay, but several other police agencies are.
Yes.
Is your agency carrying it?
We are. We just recently received the Narcan, received the training, and we do carry it on board now with our officers.
And what are your officers seeing when they're using it?
Well, thankfully, we haven't had to use it yet. We have a very fantastic rescue squad that respond, but we may get to a residence or an incident before the rescue, or if our rescue is out on another call, then our officers are there and prepared to use it.
One of the things that we found difficult as a news organization when we do these stories is to find a counter argument. Obviously, we did hear from the governor in that story, and the governor chose not to be here tonight, but we don't necessarily hear people who are against this. Dr. Springle, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, certainly, if you look at around our state, we really haven't found any negative voices other than from the highest levels of our state government. When we were looking at the first law, LD 140, which passed the state legislature last year, there were dozens and dozens of folks who showed up to testify. None were against. And again, this year with LD 1547, which suffered our governor's veto, but then was overridden, that's the amendment to the original law to make the availability of Narcan more ubiquitous, more available throughout the state. Similarly, there were no nays among the testimony. It did get out of committee 8-2, so there were 2 of our state representatives who were opposed to it at that time.
But do you think that this is what it's used to, what it's intended to do to save a life, or is it a fallback? There is that counter argument that people look at this and it's a way to say, I'm having an overdose and I'm, a fallback, really.
I don't see it like that. I see it as a lifesaver. I see a gentleman that was featured here before. That's the reason why we carry it. He's a success story. Are there going to be some failures? Absolutely. We've had somebody that's overdosed 2 to 3 times have been brought back by Narcan. But you know what? Maybe tomorrow that person's going to be ready to go into treatment, and he'll be a success story as well.
Mm-hmm. We find actually that people suffering from substance use disorders who overdose and do receive this life-saving drug, they actually are very upset that they receive Narcan because it puts them into an instant state of opioid withdrawal syndrome. Very unpleasant, very uncomfortable. It lasts for some time, and then it wears off, and that's why people need to go to the hospital after they've been administered Narcan.
And that little shot of Narcan that you were showing Christina in that story, is that something that someday a parent or a spouse of someone with substance use disorder could carry around with them?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think we all would agree that heroin and heroin fentanyl in combination have become ubiquitous in our region. Narcan should be just as ubiquitous. It should be like a penny. You find it in your drawer, your glove compartment, in your purse, almost anywhere that you look.
Like a condom.
Okay.
Or like a pill, just something that's out there that's preventative, correct?
Readily available, easy to use. You saw that the injector, the Evzio injector, the one that talks, which is expensive but available for folks that may not be able to put together the little Narcan kit. The injector that you also saw there, very easy to use, very minimal training, and if you give it to someone by mistake who doesn't really need it, it's harmless. It has no effect or interaction with other drugs.
So similar to insulin, but not.
It's actually a lot less harmful. Insulin can be harmful if taken in the wrong way.
Yeah.
You could put your contact lenses in with Narcan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that safe.
And for police officers who may be the first responders, this can actually save a life.
Absolutely.
And we're now seeing it spread across counties and towns. And did you get them through the state or from your own?
We did not. It hadn't become available yet through the state, so we went forward and worked with Southern Maine Healthcare to get our prescription through a doc and get our medication.
All right. Well, it'll be certainly interesting to see what happens as more agencies pick it up and possibly over the counter as we see. All right. Coming up, turning the corner.
I came to the end of my road. I just felt like I had nothing else to live for.
Thousands of Mainers ready for treatment. We'll talk about resources available and the new method the state is now considering.